Report story. Luffy's paw. Luffy was completely lost in the forest. Man, this place is just like the seducing woods back in Big Mom's territory. You're right, Nami said, fidgeting around in Luffy's arms. What are you doing? Luffy asked. It's getting harder to hold you. Sorry, Nami sighed. I'm trying to get comfortable. Nami's paw. How about this? Luffy lifted Nami higher so that now the two were practically face to face. Nami blushed as she stared into Luffy's eyes. Wrap your arms around my neck for support, Luffy advised, and Nami did just that. I'm sorry, but I don't want this to end, Nami thought as she closed her eyes and smiled. It was at that moment that Luffy gently put her back on her feet. Looks like I might have found something. Still sad that the moment ended, Nami turned to see a large, stone, rectangular building in the middle of the forest. What is that? I dunno, Luffy replied. Let's check it out. Nami and Luffy entered the windowless structure and they both recoiled in horror. See, can you see that, Nami? Luffy asked. Nami took a step back in horror. A giant Arlong stood glaring directly at her, his large toothy grin sending chills down her spine. What is happening? Luffy's paw. Luffy blinked as he saw Bartholomew Kuma standing in front of him, gloves off and paws at the ready. He felt Nami lace her fingers with his and grip tightly. These have to be more illusions, Luffy. We can't be fooled. They aren't real. Oh, are they not real? A voice spoke from the darkness of the dimly lit structure. Mirage anime. Suddenly, Kuma opened his mouth and began charging an energy blast. Nami blinked rapidly. Arlong's gone. Do you see Kuma too, Luffy? Yeah, he nodded. We can both see him now. Kuma fired the beam, and Luffy quickly grabbed Nami and dodged the attack. Once they landed safely, Nami was terrified, but that was a real beam. How did the illusion become real? Luffy was furious. Why don't you come out and fight for real? I'm tired of these tricks. As soon as Luffy uttered those words, Kuma vanished and in his place stood a frail, middle-aged man. The man laughed. As you wish, Mugiwara. I am Pierre, wielder of the Mirage fruit. I am your dream, or nightmare, come true. I can show you what you desire most, but I can also show you your greatest fears. Cut the crap and let's fight already. Luffy barked as he lunged forward to attack. Pierre transformed into Ace, and Luffy faltered. I don't know who this man is, Pierre spoke in Ace's voice, but he appears to be very dear to you, Straw Hat. Just hit him, Luffy. Nami yelled. You know it's not really Ace. Pierre then transformed into Sabo. How about this guy, Luffy? Luffy wasn't going to take any more. Gomu Gomu no. Pistol. Luffy's fist went right through Pierre, and he vanished. Over here. Pierre laughed, and both Luffy and Nami turned to see him in his original form standing behind them. Mirage Barrage, he shouted, and duplicates of himself spread across the room. Each of the clones transformed into a different enemy that Luffy had previously fought, ranging from Captain Morgan all the way to Katakuri. It doesn't matter how many punches you throw, all the clones said in unison. I will just keep producing more mirages. Luffy pulled Nami closer to him as the clones started walking towards them, and she looked at him with fearful eyes. Luffy. Luffy looked at his navigator. Get on my back. Nami did as she was told and Luffy jumped in the air. Gear. Third, Luffy said as he inflated his fists and feet. Still in the air, Luffy started his attack. Gomu Gomu no. Giant Rain. Luffy's fists and kicks pummeled most of the clones, but they kept appearing in different places. Luffy landed back on the ground and put Nami down. This is bad. The clones have the same strength as the real enemies have fought before. The good this is, they only take on hit to get rid of. Luffy quickly dodged a tackle by a clone of Rob Lucci and punched it away. Nami electrocuted all the enemies circled around her. We gotta find the real Pierre, Luffy. Otherwise we're just wasting our own energy. Luffy kicked an Enel clone in the face. Okay, but how can we find out? Nami grinned, holding up her Kleem attack. You don't see mirages when it's raining. Zeus. The animated cloud popped out of the contraption. Yes, master. Make it rain, Nami commanded. Zeus nodded and floated to the ceiling of the room. As the raindrops began to fall, the mirages began to fade. There should only be one left by the end of the rain. The real one, Nami said. And so it was. The only remaining figure was the middle-aged man. So you found my weakness, Pierre grinned. Fair enough. I guess it's time for me to tell you too that there's still no chance of you escaping. You or your crew. I'm taking that ship of yours and getting off this god-forsaken island once and for all. Luffy grit his teeth. Shut up. If you want out of here so bad, why are you here in the first place? Pierre sighed. I'd rather not relive it, but when I was around your age, I was enlisted in the Marines and reached the rank of lieutenant commander before I was sent on a ship to escort a foodstuffs cargo vessel. Of course, going around this area was extremely dangerous, being so close to the territory of Big Mom herself. Unfortunately, the Emperor was able to receive information on the cargo ship's whereabouts, as well as its contents. She sent two of her battleships to us, and we didn't even stand a chance. I had been chosen to board the cargo vessel to ensure the crew's safety, but there was nothing I could have done to put a stop to the bombardment of cannonballs coming our way. The Navy ship was destroyed and the cargo vessel severely injured. Big Mom's crew boarded the cargo vessel and killed the entire crew, and all I did was watch and hide. After they had taken what they wanted, they left the vessel and presumably went back to their territory. All the sweet and sugary foods had been taken. I was no helmsman, but I somehow managed to drive the vessel to this very island. I have been living off of the remainder of the contents of the vessel, but my supplies have run dangerously low, and the only thing left is what I hate the most, cola. Where stories live. Discover now.